that once you reach certainty, once you reach this idea of you knowing why everything works, everything will be so normal. Salah would be automatic. Siyam, automatic. Everything is just so normal for you. You won't even think about it because you know, subhanAllah, God has done too much for me to be able to sin. Too much. Therefore, when examining Karbala, you find that the certainty of Abu al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam is amazing. Amazing. The way he goes out of his way to fight for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, for his dear brother, showing loyalty, showing this amazing certainty. Even when he's going down to the river of Al-Furat, he's sitting by there, he comes to drink water. As in some narrators describe that his heart was as hot as if it was a coal. That day was very hot. It was in Karbala, the sands were hot, the weather was very, very hot. That in that time, he sat by the water coming to drink, but he did not drink. He said, how can I drink when my dear brother Hussein is thirsty? Impossible. I'll never do it. Now you might ask, why would he do such a thing? It's because he had the certainty that the water is not the ultimate goal. As he fills the water container with water and he's going back toward the camps, the men come upon him from every direction, throwing arrows at him. One man hides behind a tree and cuts one of his hands off. Abu al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam yells and declares, he says, if you cut both of my hands off, to me it doesn't matter. I have the certainty that my brother is the leader of Islam, and our grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the ultimate prophet. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Therefore on that day he fights valiantly until alayhi salam men come from every direction to strike him. One striking him with a sword, one striking him with a spear. Finally they strike him with a metal pole on his head. He falls onto the floor alayhi salam. In these instances he calls his dear brother Hussein. He says, Akhi Aba Abdullah adrikni. My dear brother, come forth to help me, for the enemies of Allah have struck me. SubhanAllah, said that's only in this situation Imam Hussein alayhi Abu al-Fadl Abbas truly called Imam Hussein by his name, by Akhi. He usually calls him by Sayyidi, Master, my leader. But this is the only instance where he says to him, Akhi Aba Abdullah, adrikni, come to my help, come to my aid. يا بنت عنا من الخيام للعلقم حسين صاحب صوت يعضد وقعت وين بعد ما شاف دربي أضوى العين يا خويا القوم بعدك استوحدوني. Abu Abdullah comes by the body of Abu al-Fadl. He sits on the floor. He takes the head of Abu al-Fadl, he puts it in his lap. Abu al-Fadl removes the head from the lap of Abu Abdullah. He does it again, one more time. He removes the head. He said to him, my dear brother, why do you do this? Every time I put your head in my lap to wipe the blood from your face, you remove it and put it back on the ground. Why? He says to him, my dear brother, in these instances you have my head in your lap. But after an hour or so, who will have your head in their lap? My dear brother, you'll be left alone on these sands with no helper. As in, look at the loyalty of the brothers. It's amazingly beautiful. Abu Abdullah alayhi salam, after the death of Abu Fadl, he goes back towards the tents. He goes to his sister Zainab. He says to her sister Zainab, Azam Allahi laki al-ajr, let may Allah reward you. Your brother has died. He is by the river of Al-Furat. Automatically she started to cry and wail and said, oh my dear brother Abu al-Fadl, you are the one who brought me from Medina. So now get up again and bring me back to Medina. تقل ولا عين يلوذن يم أبو فاضل ولا عين ترى عزمه ولا عن خويا العايد اللي بقت عندي ولا عين يا خويا ما اقدر اعتابك علي. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. Let us raise our hands for dua. Oh Allah, we ask you to put the certainty in our hearts. Oh Allah, we ask you to put the love of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam in our hearts. Oh Allah, we ask you for us to be ones who are skeptical, ones who are always investigating in your signs in this world. Oh Allah. Oh Allah, take our ones, the ones who are sick, heal them with your might, oh Allah. Oh Allah, dress them with the dress of afiyah, dress them with the dress of their sickness being leaving, Ya Allah. ولأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات نقرأ ثواب سورة الفاتحة تسبقها الصلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Yes, brother. Why should we not be ones who listen to music in Islam? It's a question that we've spoken about, but inshallah we can speak about it again quickly. If you realize that in two ways, taking the singers who sing these songs and comparing them to the Holy 14 that Allah has given us, and also taking the words that are uttered out of the mouth of these singers and comparing them to the reality that we live in. Because in Islam, Allah has set standards. He's given us a reality. He said, do this, don't do this. Be ones who are moral, don't be ones who are immoral. Women should be dressed well, should be dressed modestly in order for them to be kept safe. Many people don't understand this concept of hijab. Why should I be a woman who wears hijab? The analogy is simple. The most precious element today is the element of gold. You find that people, when selling gold or even diamond, they put it inside a box to conceal it behind glass in order for it to be kept safe. It's still very, very precious, but only it's put in a containment where it's very safe. Islam makes women very precious. Therefore it takes them and puts them in this hijab to keep them safe from others. We must realize that Allah has given us these different realities. Once comparing these realities to the realities of the music today, we find there's not much similarity. Women are immorally dressed. People speak of drugs, violence, killing, not being moral, not saying the truth. It comes and it diverts a human being away from the reality that he should be living in. That's why you find some people 24/7 on their iPods listening to some hip-hop. And even when you walk by them, you realize that they're rapping these words of the rappers. And you realize, subhanAllah, how much they're in it. They're drowning. They're drowning in this. Therefore, they don't understand that this in itself removes them from reality. Also, for example, taking the singers and comparing them to the Holy 14. Because in Islam, subhanAllah, Islam is a religion that's very structured. You find that the more structured a religion is, the more you realize how strong it is. Islam is structured as a triangle that says T-E-J, theology, ethics, jurisprudence. It's left nothing out. Theology deals with your relationship with God. Ethics deals with your relationship with the human being. And jurisprudence deals with the relationship between you and yourself. Therefore, nothing else is left. Therefore, Allah has set for us guides. Our holy imams are guides. Even though they died 1,400 years ago and we're still here commemorating it. Why? It's because the legacy lives on. Their word lives on. We must be ones who become moral and make things right so that our Imam Azza wa Jal, Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, may be the ones who appear and bring the word of the haqq. When we take the singers and compare them to these Holy 14, we find no similarities. And I mentioned the story of Ozzy Osbourne, one of the singers, standing on the stage, taking the dove and separating its head from its body. Which in reality is not much morality. There's not much morality to this. Doing this to an innocent animal. Nothing's wrong with animals. I mean, some might have the idea, and sadly, that dogs are najis. Muslims hate dogs. No. Ashab al-Kahf had a dog with them. And Allah says they were youth who are mu'mineen. Allah highly regards them, positively. They might be najis, but it's not like we hate them or anything. No, the animal is still respected in Islam. Therefore, that it opposes reality, and the characteristics of these people who are the ones doing the singing, they divert people from the way of Islam. What you hear with your ear cements into your heart. Some might say, well, listen to this song, that's it. No. You might not know it, but those who study psychology know that there's an unconscious mind that's always working and will reveal itself at any moment in time. You just don't know about it. I hope that answers the question. Yes. Any other questions that you guys may have? صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.